Hello, and a very warm welcome back to our health channel. It is a pleasure to have you with us today. For all our wonderful viewers tuning in, we love knowing where you are watching from. Please, take just a moment to comment below and let us know which city or country you are joining us from. Your presence makes our community so much stronger, and it's wonderful to see how far this information travels. Today we are tackling a topic that many in our community have asked about, something that affects millions of seniors around the world: trouble sleeping. Do you find yourself tossing and turning, unable to get comfortable? Do you wake up frequently during the night? Or perhaps you wake up far too early in the morning and simply cannot get back to sleep. Please know, you are not alone. This is often called insomnia, and it can be incredibly frustrating. But why does this happen, especially as we get older? And more importantly, what can we do about it? In this special 10-part series, we are going to explore the top 5 causes of insomnia in seniors and practical ways to manage it, right from the comfort of your own home. We'll look at the science, the practical tips, and the important warnings. If you find this topic helpful, please give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. It truly helps our channel reach others who need this information. Now, let's begin. Now, before we jump into the causes and solutions, we must start with a crucial first step: understanding what is actually normal. Because the truth is, the sleep you need at age 65, 70, or 80 is simply not the same as the sleep you needed at age 25. Many of us hold on to the idea that we must get 8 solid, uninterrupted hours of sleep. When we don't, we feel anxious, frustrated, and believe that something is deeply wrong. But here is the scientific truth: sleep is not a single, solid block. It is a complex journey that your brain takes every single night. This journey is called sleep architecture. Think of your sleep as a staircase. You start at the top, in light sleep, what scientists call stage N1. Then you go down into a slightly deeper sleep, stage N2. Finally, you reach the bottom of the stairs, the deepest, most restorative sleep, stage N3. This is where your body and brain do the most repair work. After visiting this deep stage, you come back up the stairs and enter a very different phase: REM sleep, or rapid eye movement. This is when you do most of your dreaming. This entire cycle, from light to deep to REM, takes about 90 minutes. You repeat this cycle 4 or 5 times a night. Now, here is the most important point of this chapter: as we enter our golden years, this architecture fundamentally changes. Research, based on thousands of sleep studies, consistently shows that older adults spend much more time in those lighter stages of sleep, N1 and N2. At the same time, we spend significantly less time in that very deep restorative N3 sleep. This is why you might feel like you're just not sleeping as deeply as you used to. In many ways, you are absolutely correct. It is a biological fact. It also means you are more easily woken up. A small noise, a change in temperature, or a car door slamming down the street, things you would have slept right through 30 years ago, can now pull you right out of that lighter sleep. But why does this happen? There are 2 main biological reasons. Melatonin: your brain has a master clock. This clock tells your body when to be sleepy by releasing a hormone called melatonin. As we age, our brain often produces less melatonin, and the timing of its release can become less regular. Circadian rhythm: this is your 24-hour internal body clock. In many seniors, this rhythm can shift forward. This is called advanced sleep phase. It's why you might find yourself getting very sleepy early in the evening, perhaps at 8 p.m., but then also find yourself wide awake at 4 or 5 a.m., unable to get back to sleep. This leads us to the key tip for this chapter: the goal is not to sleep like a 20-year-old, the goal is to feel rested. Stop comparing your current sleep to the sleep you had decades ago. Focus on quality, not just quantity. If you sleep for 6 or 7 hours, and perhaps wake up once or twice, but you feel refreshed, active, and mentally clear during the day, you are likely getting enough sleep for your body. However, we must end with a critical warning: while these changes are normal, chronic insomnia is not. Waking up a few times is one thing. But what if you are waking up and cannot go back to sleep for hours? What if you feel exhausted, irritable, and foggy every single day? What if your poor sleep is damaging your quality of life? That is not a normal part of aging. That is a sign of a problem, and it often has specific, treatable causes. In our next chapter, we will begin to explore the first of those causes: the physical health conditions that can so often steal our sleep. Sometimes, it is our own body that becomes the biggest barrier to a good night's rest. This brings us to our first major cause of chronic insomnia in seniors: underlying physical health conditions. For millions of older adults, the number one obstacle to sleep is chronic pain. This creates a vicious and exhausting cycle. The pain makes it impossible to get comfortable and fall asleep. Then that very lack of sleep makes our pain receptors more sensitive, so the pain feels even worse the next day. If you live with arthritis, you know this. If you have fibromyalgia, sciatica, or chronic lower back pain, you understand this deeply. You get into bed, you toss and turn, and just as you start to drift off, you move slightly, a sharp pain fires, and you are wide awake once again. Your brain is forced to constantly choose between sleep and responding to the pain signal, and the pain signal almost always wins. A second, extremely common physical culprit is nocturia. Nocturia, spelled nocturia, is the medical term for waking up frequently during the night with the specific need to urinate. This is more than just an inconvenience, it's a powerful sleep disruptor. It can pull you out of a deep, restorative sleep. And by the time you have gotten up, walked to the bathroom, and returned to bed, your mind is now active. Your body is now cooler. And you find yourself lying awake, staring at the ceiling, unable to get back to sleep. While this can be a simple sign of an aging bladder, it can also be a symptom of other conditions, such as an enlarged prostate in men, a urinary tract infection, or even uncontrolled diabetes. Third, we have a very frustrating condition called restless leg syndrome, or RLS. This isn't a simple muscle cramp. RLS is an overwhelming, uncontrollable urge to move your legs. People describe it as a creepy, crawly, itchy, or electrical feeling deep inside the calves. It only happens when you are at rest or trying to fall asleep, and the only way to get temporary relief is to move, which of course, prevents you from sleeping. Finally, we must discuss the most serious physical condition on this list, one that is often hidden: sleep apnea. Apnea literally means without breath. This is a condition where the tissues in the back of your throat relax and collapse, blocking your airway. For 10, 20, or even 30 seconds, you stop breathing. Your brain senses this lack of oxygen, panics, and sends a jolt of adrenaline to wake you up just enough to take a powerful gasp of air. This can happen hundreds of times a night, and you will likely have no memory of it in the morning. The only clues might be loud, explosive snoring, or a partner who tells you that you were gasping for air. Practical tips and warnings. So, what are the practical tips? For chronic pain, talk to your doctor about the timing of your pain medication. Also, simple things like gentle stretching an hour before bed can ease muscle tension. And please, evaluate your sleep environment. A supportive mattress and the right pillows are not luxuries, they are medical necessities for those with chronic pain. For nocturia, the solution is often simple: limit your fluid intake for 2 to 3 hours before you plan to sleep. This is especially true for diuretics like caffeine or alcohol. And now, for the critical warning in this chapter. 1. Never ignore the symptoms of sleep apnea. If you snore loudly, gasp in your sleep, and feel profoundly exhausted every day despite a full night in bed, you must seek a medical evaluation. Sleep apnea is not just a sleep problem, it starves your brain and heart of oxygen and dramatically increases your risk of heart attack, stroke, and high blood pressure. 2. Do not just live with chronic pain. Pain is your body's alarm signal. It is not something you have to passively accept as a normal part of aging. You deserve to have your pain managed effectively. Our bodies can be a major challenge to our sleep. But sometimes, the problem isn't the body itself, but what we put into it. In our last chapter, we explored how physical conditions, like chronic pain, nocturia, and sleep apnea, can be a primary source of sleep disruption. But what happens when the very treatment for one of our health problems becomes the cause of a new one? This brings us to our second major cause of insomnia in seniors: the side effects of common medications. As we get older, it is a simple fact that we may need to manage several health conditions at once. One for high blood pressure, one for high cholesterol, one for arthritis, perhaps one for diabetes. This is medically known as polypharmacy, which simply means many medicines. Polypharmacy is not a bad thing. These medications are often life-saving and essential for our quality of life. However, the more medications we take, the greater the statistical chance that one of them, or a combination of them, is interfering with our natural sleep cycle. We all know to check a medication label for a may cause drowsiness warning. But we are often not warned about the opposite, and it's far more common than you might think. We simply don't expect the pill that protects our heart to be the very thing keeping us awake at 3 a.m. The research. Common culprits. Let's look at the research. Certain classes of drugs are well known in the medical community for causing insomnia. Beta blockers. These are very common medications used for high blood pressure and heart conditions. While incredibly effective, research shows that some beta blockers, by their very nature, can suppress the brain's nighttime release of melatonin, our natural sleep hormone. Corticosteroids. If you take a drug like prednisone for inflammation, rheumatoid arthritis, or asthma, you may already know this. Corticosteroids mimic cortisol, which is your body's stress or awake hormone. Taking a dose in the evening can be like drinking a very strong cup of coffee. It puts your body into a state of high alert, making sleep nearly impossible. Decongestants. This is a common one, often overlooked. If you have a cold or allergies, you might take an over-the-counter decongestant. But the active ingredient, often pseudoephedrine, is a powerful stimulant. It works by shrinking blood vessels, but it also stimulates your central nervous system, leading to that jittery and wired feeling. Diuretics, or water pills. This is a more mechanical cause. These pills, which help manage blood pressure, don't chemically cause insomnia. But they cause nocturia, which we discussed in Chapter 3. If you take your water pill too late in the day, you are guaranteeing that your bladder will wake you up, not once, but multiple times all night long. Some antidepressants. While many antidepressants can help with sleep, certain types, like some SSRIs, can be activating and may cause insomnia, especially in the first few weeks of taking them. Practical tips and the critical warning. So, if you suspect your medication is the problem, what are the practical tips? Tip 1. The medication and sleep diary. This is your most powerful tool. Get a simple notebook. In one column, write the time you took your medication. In the next column, write down your sleep quality, fell asleep fine, but woke up at 2 a.m. and couldn't get back to sleep. After a week, you may see a clear pattern. This is data you can take to your doctor. Tip 2. Ask your doctor about timing. This is often the simplest fix. If you discover your steroid or your water pill is the problem, ask your doctor a simple question: can I take this medication in the morning? Many medications can be shifted to the morning to prevent sleep disruption. Tip 3. The brown bag review. Once a year, put everything you take, prescriptions, over-the-counter pills, vitamins, and herbal supplements, into a single bag. Take it to your doctor or pharmacist and ask them to review it. They are trained to spot potential interactions or side effects that you may have missed. And now, for the critical warning for this chapter. I need you to listen to this very carefully. You must not, I will repeat, you must not, stop, skip, or change the dose or timing of any prescribed medication without first speaking to your doctor or pharmacist. The risk of an uncontrolled condition, such as a heart attack from a skipped beta blocker or a dangerous spike in blood pressure, is far, far more dangerous than a few nights of poor sleep. This information is not for self-diagnosis. It is to empower you, to make you an informed patient, so you can have a better, more productive conversation with your healthcare provider. We have now discussed the body and the medicine cabinet. But what about the one thing that truly keeps us staring at the ceiling in the middle of the night? The active, worrying mind. In our journey so far, we have discussed the hardware problems that can disrupt our sleep, the physical ailments from Chapter 3, and the medication side effects from Chapter 4. But for so many of us, the bed is comfortable, the room is quiet, and our body is at rest. Yet sleep will not come. This is because the single most powerful obstacle to sleep is not our body. It is our mind. This is our third major cause of insomnia: psychological factors. This is a broad category that includes stress, worry, anxiety, grief, and depression. This is not a personal failure or a sign of weakness. It is a biological conflict. It is a battle between your modern brain and your ancient brain. Here is the science behind it, in simple terms. Your body has two primary operating systems. The first is the rest and digest system. It is calm, it repairs tissue, it lowers your heart rate, and it produces melatonin, the sleep hormone. The second system is the fight or flight response. This is your ancient survival system. When it senses a threat, it does the opposite. It floods your body with adrenaline and, most importantly, cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol makes your heart beat faster, tenses your muscles, and makes your mind sharp, alert, and focused, ready to face a danger. Here's the problem: your brain cannot run both systems at the same time. You are either in a state of rest or a state of alert. And in our modern world, the threat is no longer a predator outside the cave. The threat is a thought. It is the what if that loops in your head at 2 a.m. What if I can't pay that medical bill? What if my children are struggling and not telling me? What if this new ache is something serious? What if I am becoming a burden? What if I just can't fall asleep? That last one, the fear of not sleeping, is a cruel irony. It is often the final thought that guarantees you will stay awake. Your brain interprets that anxiety as a threat, and it releases cortisol, putting you in a state of high alert, making sleep physically impossible. But it is not always active worry. Sometimes, the psychological factor is a quieter, heavier presence. Grief and loneliness are profound disruptors of sleep. Our lives, as we get older, are often marked by major transitions. Retirement can be a wonderful new chapter, but it can also mean a loss of routine and purpose. And most significantly, the loss of a spouse, a partner, or a lifelong friend leaves an emptiness that is often felt most acutely in the silence of the night. This grief, if it persists, can lead to depression. And depression has a unique and destructive relationship with sleep. For many, depression causes classic insomnia. You fall asleep, but then you find yourself waking up far too early, 3 or 4 a.m., and you are instantly wide awake, often with a feeling of dread, and your mind simply will not turn off. Practical tips and the critical warning. So, what can we do? We cannot just stop worrying. Practical tip 1: the worry journal. This is a powerful technique from cognitive behavioral therapy. You must schedule your worry time. Do not do this right before bed. Instead, 1 to 2 hours before you plan to sleep, sit down with a notebook. For 10 or 15 minutes, write down every single thing that is on your mind. Get it all out of your head and onto the paper. Then, close the book. This is a powerful, symbolic act. You are telling your brain, I have heard you. I have recorded the problems. We will deal with them tomorrow, but for now, your job is done. Practical tip 2: simple mindfulness. If you are in bed and your mind is racing, do not fight it. Instead, focus on your breath. A simple breathing exercise can manually force your body out of fight or flight. Try the 4-7-8 method. Inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 7. Then, exhale slowly and completely through your mouth for a count of 8. Repeat this 3 or 4 times. It has a calming effect on the entire nervous system. And now, for the critical warning for this chapter. Worry, stress, and grief are normal, human responses to life's challenges. Clinical depression is not. If you are experiencing a persistent low mood, a complete loss of interest in things you used to enjoy, or feelings of hopelessness that last for more than 2 weeks, please do not try to tough it out, or dismiss it as just part of getting older. It is not. It is a treatable medical condition. Your mental health is just as important, and in fact, is inseparable from your physical health. Please, speak to your doctor or a mental health professional. You deserve to feel well, and you deserve to rest. We have now covered the body, the medicines, and the mind. But what if the cause of our sleeplessness is simpler? What if it's our own daily routine? What if the reason we can't sleep at 11 p.m. is because of a choice we made at 2 p.m.? This brings us to our 4th major cause of insomnia, our daily habits. In the world of sleep science, this is known as sleep hygiene. Just like we have dental hygiene, brushing our teeth, to prevent cavities, we must have sleep hygiene, good daily habits, to prevent insomnia. Often, we are unknowingly sabotaging our own sleep, day after day. Let's look at the 4 biggest culprits. Habit 1: the afternoon caffeine. This is the most common and most misunderstood culprit. Many people tell me, oh, I don't drink coffee at night. I only have a cup in the early afternoon. Let's look at the research. Caffeine is a powerful stimulant. The most important thing to know about it is its half-life. This is the time it takes for your body to eliminate half of the drug. For most healthy adults, the half-life of caffeine is around 5 to 6 hours. This means if you drink 1 cup of coffee at 2 p.m., by 8 p.m., 6 hours later, half of that caffeine is still active in your system. it is still blocking the sleep-inducing chemicals in your brain. So, at 10 p.m., when you're trying to sleep, your brain is still partially stimulated from a cup of coffee you had 8 hours earlier. And remember, caffeine isn't just in coffee. It is in black tea, green tea, many sodas, energy drinks, and even dark chocolate. Habit 2, the nightcap myth. This is a very common trap. Many people, especially seniors, find that a small glass of wine, brandy, or beer helps them relax and get sleepy. And here's the tricky part, they are not wrong. Alcohol is a sedative. It will help you fall asleep faster. But that's only the first half of the story. As your body metabolizes that alcohol during the night, it has a powerful rebound effect. 4 or 5 hours after you fall asleep, the sedative effect wears off, and your body is flooded with an arousal signal. You are pulled out of deep, restorative sleep. It is notorious for destroying your REM, or dream sleep. This is why you may wake up at 2 or 3 a.m., feeling hot, slightly anxious, and completely unable to get back to sleep. That nightcap didn't help you sleep, it borrowed sleep from the second half of the night. Habit 3, the long or late nap. Naps are not bad. A short power nap of 20 to 30 minutes in the early afternoon can be very refreshing. The problem is the long nap, over an hour, or the late nap, after 3 or 4 p.m. Think of your need for sleep like hunger. We call this sleep drive or sleep pressure. When you wake up, your sleep drive is at 0. As you go through your day, that hunger for sleep builds and builds, so that by bedtime, you are very hungry and fall asleep easily. A long late nap is like eating a huge snack an hour before dinner. You have eaten up all that sleep drive. When 10 p.m. rolls around, you are simply not tired enough. This creates a terrible cycle. You can't fall asleep at night, so you are exhausted the next day, which makes you need a long nap, which then ruins your sleep for that night. Habit 4, the blue light problem. And finally, the most modern habit, our screens. Our brains are wired to a 24-hour clock that is set by light. When the sun goes down, our brain is supposed to get a signal, it is dark. Start producing melatonin, the sleep hormone. But the bright blue light emitted from our televisions, our tablets, our computers, and especially our smartphones, is the exact same wavelength as daylight. When you sit in bed scrolling on your phone, you are sending a direct physical signal to your brain that says, it is noon. Stay awake. Do not, under any circumstances, produce melatonin. It is the biological opposite of what you are trying to do. Practical tips and the warning. Tip 1, the caffeine curfew. Set a hard stop time for all caffeine. For most people, this should be 12 p.m. noon, or 1 p.m. at the latest. Switch to herbal tea or water after that. Tip 2, the digital sundown. This is your new, non-negotiable rule. 1 hour before your target bedtime, all screens go off. No exceptions. Read a physical book. Listen to calm music. Talk with your partner. Now, for the warning for this chapter. Many people, trying to avoid these traps, turn to natural sleep aids, like sleepy time teas or over-the-counter supplements like valerian root or even melatonin. Natural does not mean harmless. Many of these herbal supplements are powerful, and they can have serious interactions with your prescribed medications, especially blood thinners, blood pressure medication, or diabetes medication. Always check with your doctor or your pharmacist before adding any new supplement to your routine, even if the bottle says it is all natural. We have now cleaned up our daily habits. But what about the room itself? Even with perfect habits, you cannot sleep in a room that is fighting against you. In our last chapter, we cleaned up our daily routines. We established a caffeine curfew and a digital sundown to stop sabotaging our sleep before we even get into bed. But what happens when you do everything right? You've had no caffeine since noon. You've been screen-free for an hour. You've managed your stress. You get into bed, and you still can't sleep. This is where we must investigate the final and most often overlooked cause of insomnia. This is our 5th major cause, the bedroom battle. We are talking about your environment. Your bedroom itself, the temperature, the light, the sound, and even the feeling of the room, may be actively fighting against your ability to rest. Let's begin with the most important research in this area, which is about psychological association. Your brain is a powerful learning machine. It learns through association. For example, when you sit at the dining table, your brain thinks, it's time to eat. When you sit at your desk, your brain thinks, it's time to work. What does your brain think when you get into bed? If the answer is it's time to sleep, you are in a good position. But for many of us, the bed has become the place where we watch the nightly news, which is often stressful. Eat a snack. Argue with our partner. Pay our bills. Or worst of all, the place where we lie awake for hours, worrying. If you do these things, your brain has learned a new disastrous association. It has learned that the bed is a place for activity, stress, and anxiety. When you get into bed, your brain doesn't begin to power down, it powers up, ready to do all the things it thinks it's supposed to do in that location. Beyond this mental association, there are 3 physical factors in your room that are critical. 1. Temperature. Many people believe a warm, cozy room is best for sleep. The science shows the exact opposite. To initiate and maintain deep sleep, your body's core temperature must drop slightly. Research from sleep clinics consistently shows that the ideal temperature for sleep is surprisingly cool, somewhere between 18 and 20 degrees Celsius, or 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. A room that is too hot is one of the most common and disruptive physical barriers to sleep. 2. Light. We discussed blue light from screens in the last chapter. But all light is a problem. Your brain's master clock is exquisitely sensitive. Even a tiny single point of light, from a digital clock, a power strip, a gap in your curtains, or a street lamp outside your window, can be enough. This light can leak through your closed eyelids and hit your retina, sending a small but clear signal to your brain, it's not dark yet. Do not produce the maximum amount of melatonin. 3. Noise. This one is obvious, but with a slight twist. It is not just loud noises that disrupt sleep, but inconsistent noises. A quiet, steady, predictable noise, like a fan or an air conditioner, can actually be helpful. This is called white noise, and it masks other sounds. The noises that destroy sleep are the sudden ones, a car door slamming, a dog barking, a floorboard creaking. These noises signal alert to your brain, pulling you out of your lighter sleep stages. Practical tips and the warning. Practical tip 1, the first rule of the bedroom. This is the single most important tip in this chapter. You must retrain your brain. From this day forward, the bed is for sleep and intimacy only. Nothing else. No TV, no laptops, no paying bills, no arguing. If you must read a physical book in a dim light, and then put it away when you feel sleepy. Practical tip 2, the cave. You must turn your bedroom into a sleep cave. It must be cool, dark, and quiet. Cool, turn down the thermostat. Dark, get blackout curtains or a comfortable eye mask. Cover the light on your alarm clock with a piece of tape. Quiet, if you can't control outside noise, control it. Use foam earplugs or a white noise machine or a simple fan. And now for the warning for this chapter, which connects back to chapter 3. What if the noise isn't outside? What if the noise is lying right next to you? We are talking about a snoring partner. While it may be an annoyance to you, it could be a sign of a deadly serious condition for them. Loud, gasping snores are the #1 symptom of sleep apnea. If your partner's snoring is so loud that it's keeping you awake, do not just move to the guest room. Please, urge them to see a doctor for an evaluation. It is not just an inconvenience, it could be a sign that they are not breathing. For the past 7 chapters, we have been investigators. We have searched our bodies, our medicine cabinets, our minds, our daily habits, and our very bedrooms, identifying the 5 major causes of our insomnia. Now, we stop being investigators and we become builders. This chapter is the most practical and perhaps the most important one in our entire series. We are going to take all the tips and all the science and build a powerful step-by-step home solution toolkit. The goal is to create a consistent nightly pre-sleep ritual. Why a ritual? Because your brain does not like sudden changes. It cannot go from 100 miles per hour, watching a stressful news report or having an active conversation, straight to 0, which is sleep. It needs a transition. This ritual is that transition. It is a 30 to 60 minute buffer zone that sends a clear, powerful signal to your brain and body: the day is over. We are preparing to rest. The techniques we are using here are based on the gold standard for non-medication sleep treatment, known as cbt-i, or cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. They are proven to work. Your 60-minute wind-down ritual. Here is what your new evening looks like, starting 1 hour before your target bedtime. Minute 1. The digital sundown. This is the non-negotiable first step. All screens go off. The television, the computer, the smartphone, the tablet. They are all daylight to your brain. This is the official start of your ritual. Minutes 2 to 20. The worry journal and task list. You cannot sleep if your mind is a to-do list. Sit down in a comfortable chair, not in bed, with a simple notebook. For 10 minutes, write down every single thing on your mind. The bill you have to pay. The phone call you need to make. The worry about your health. Get it out of your head and onto the paper. Once it's on the paper, your brain can let it go. Minutes 20 to 40. The physical signal. Now we send a signal to the body. The best tip, the research, the most powerful physical sleep signal you can create is a warm bath or shower. And here is the science. It is not the warmth that makes you sleepy. It is the rapid drop in your core body temperature after you get out of the bath. That sudden cooling mimics your body's natural temperature drop at night and is a massive trigger for melatonin release. Alternative tip, if you can't take a bath, you can achieve a similar psychological comfort with a warm, non-caffeinated drink, like a sleepy time herbal tea. Minutes 40 to 55. The mental calm down. This is your time for quiet, relaxing, non-stimulating activity in dim light. Read a physical book or magazine, nothing too exciting or scary. Listen to calm, instrumental music or a relaxation podcast. Do very gentle, slow stretches to release muscle tension in your neck, shoulders, and back. Practice the 4-7-8 breathing we discussed in Chapter 5. Minute 55. The bedroom. Now and only now, do you go into the cave you created in past chapter. The room is cool, dark, and quiet. Minute 60. Lights out. The 2 most important rules. This ritual is powerful, but it must be supported by 2 golden rules from cbt-i. Golden rule number 1. The wake-up time is your anchor. This is the most important tip in the whole series. You must wake up at the same time every single day. Yes, even on weekends. Yes, even if you slept badly. If you slept poorly and then you sleep in until 10 a.m., you have just destroyed your sleep drive for the next night. Your wake-up time is the anchor that sets your entire 24-hour circadian rhythm. You cannot have a regular sleep time if you do not have a regular wake time. The critical warning, the 20-minute rule. But what happens if you do all this? You get into bed. And you are still awake? You are staring at the ceiling. You start to feel anxious. Here, we must follow the warning for this chapter, the 20-minute rule. If you have been in bed for what feels like 20 minutes, do not watch the clock, and you are not falling asleep, you must get out of bed. Why? Because, as we learned in past chapter, if you lie there awake, you are training your brain to associate bed with anxiety. You must break that association. Get out of bed. Go to another room, like your living room. Keep the lights dim. No bright lights, and absolutely no screens. Do something calm and boring. Read a dull magazine. Look out the window. Listen to quiet music. Wait until you feel genuinely sleepy, your eyes are heavy, you are yawning. Then, and only then, do you return to bed. This is not a punishment. This is retraining. You are teaching your brain, the bed is only for sleeping. This toolkit takes patience and, above all, consistency. It may not work perfectly the first night. But if you stick to it, you are retraining your body and mind, and you will reclaim your rest. But what if you've tried all this, and the insomnia is still severe? What if there's something more going on? Over the past chapters, we have equipped you with a powerful toolkit. We have identified the causes of insomnia and built a comprehensive, science-backed plan, a pre-sleep ritual based on cognitive behavioral therapy, to manage your sleep at home. For the vast majority of people, consistently applying these strategies will lead to significant, positive results. However, this is the safety-focused chapter. We must discuss when home strategies are not enough. We must talk about the red flags. Insomnia is often a symptom, not the root disease. Sometimes, it is a symptom of a simple, correctable habit. But other times, it is your body's check engine light, warning you of a more serious, underlying medical problem that you cannot fix on your own. Ignoring these signs is not just inconvenient, it can be dangerous. So, let's be very clear. It is time to stop self-managing and call your doctor if you experience any of the following. The 5 red flags. Red flag 1, the timeline. You have implemented the strategies from this series, the sleep hygiene, the ritual, the 20-minute rule, with serious consistency for 2 or 3 weeks, and your sleep has not improved at all, or it has gotten worse. This is a sign that your insomnia is not just a bad habit, it is chronic insomnia, and likely has a medical or pharmacological root that needs professional investigation. Red flag 2, severe daytime impact. This is a critical one. We are not talking about feeling a little tired. We are talking about sleepiness so severe that it impacts your safety and daily function. Do you find yourself falling asleep, even for a moment, while driving? Do you doze off in the middle of a conversation, or while eating a meal? This is a sign of a severe sleep disorder, and it is a medical emergency. You must not drive, and you must see a doctor immediately. Red flag 3, the sleep apnea symptoms. We have mentioned this throughout the series, and we will be direct one more time. If your partner tells you that you gasp, choke, or completely stop breathing in your sleep, this is a non-negotiable red flag. Or if you are the one who snores like a freight train and you wake up every single morning with a headache, a dry mouth, and feeling like you haven't slept at all, you must be evaluated for sleep apnea. Home strategies will not fix a blocked airway. Red flag 4, new or frightening physical symptoms. Your sleep problems should not be accompanied by other, serious physical symptoms. If your insomnia is combined with chest pain, severe shortness of breath at night, or a feeling of pressure in your chest, this is a sign of a potential cardiac or respiratory issue. Do not wait. This requires immediate medical attention. Red flag 5, the mental health crisis. If your inability to sleep is accompanied by a severe, persistent low mood, feelings of complete hopelessness or worthlessness, or thoughts of harming yourself, this is a profound red flag. This is no longer a sleep problem, it is a mental health crisis. Your safety and your life are the #1 priority. Please, reach out to a doctor, a crisis hotline, or a trusted family member today. If any of these flags apply to you, you need to make an appointment. Here is a practical tip for making that appointment effective. Do not just walk in and say, "I can't sleep." You are an informed patient now. Bring your medication and sleep diary. This is your evidence. Show them the pattern. Bring your brown bag of all medications and supplements. Ask specific, empowered questions. I have been tracking my sleep. Could one of my medications be causing this? I have these other symptoms, like snoring/pain/leg cramps. Could a medical condition like sleep apnea or RLS be the cause? And finally, this is severely impacting my quality of life. Can you please refer me to a sleep specialist or a sleep clinic? You do not have to live with a chronic lack of sleep. Help is available, but it starts with recognizing when you need to ask for it. We have now reached the end of our investigation. We've found the causes, built the solutions, and set the safety limits. We have now reached the end of our 10-part journey into understanding and managing sleep difficulties in seniors. Thank you so much for staying with us and investing this time in your health. We have covered a lot of ground together. We started by understanding how our sleep architecture naturally changes with age in Chapter 2. Then, we became investigators, identifying the 5 major culprits that can steal our rest. Physical conditions, like chronic pain or sleep apnea. The side effects of our common medications. The power of a stressed or worried mind. Our daily habits, like afternoon caffeine or late-night screen time. And finally, our very own bedroom environment. Most importantly, we did not just list problems. We built solutions. In Chapter 8, we assembled a practical step-by-step home solution toolkit, teaching you how to create a powerful pre-sleep ritual based on proven science. And in our last chapter, we covered the critical red flags that tell you when it is time to stop self-managing and speak with your doctor. Please remember the single most important message from this entire series. While sleep challenges are common, chronic poor sleep is not an inevitable or normal part of aging that you must simply accept. You have the power to improve your sleep quality. The key to success is patience and consistency. You do not have to do everything at once. Start small. Perhaps just begin with 1 or 2 tips we discussed, like creating a digital sundown or setting that firm non-negotiable wake-up time. Build from there. What did you think of this series? We would be so grateful to hear from you. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Which chapter or which single tip did you find most useful? Or perhaps you have a personal tip that has worked for you. Your experience can help so many others in our wonderful community. If you found this series valuable, please show your support by giving this video a like, and please share it with family or friends who you think might benefit from this information. And finally, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell for more credible, practical health guidance just like this. Thank you for watching. Be well, stay informed, and we wish you many nights of peaceful restorative sleep tight.